Hey adventurers, have you ever wondered what is inside a geocache? Or better yet, what should be inside of a geocache? Well then watch this episode and we're going to show you exactly what should and should not be inside a geocache. Have you ever wondered what is inside a geocache, or maybe what is supposed to be inside a geocache? If you enjoy this episode, subscribe and like. Quiet you. Well, in this episode, we're going to walk you through what is generally supposed to be hidden inside a geocache when you go and find one using your geocaching app. And hey, by the way, if you're not even sure how to get started, watch this video here. Check out the link. That'll help you get started. Let's talk about what is supposed to be inside a geocache. Then we can talk about what you're actually usually going to find in a geocache. And lastly, let's talk about what should never be in a geocache. Let's get started. I'm Jay.
I'm Laura.
And we're the LANMonkeys.
It is possible, I know it's not too late.
First and foremost, geocaching is a family-friendly game. So the intent is geocaches should be in a state where if kids find them, everything's cool. So given that, what are some of the key things you should have in a geocache? At its most basic, really, it needs to have a logbook, and you want to protect that logbook. So put it in a sealed plastic bag if you can. And then a little bit of swag, stuff we all get, things people can trade fairly for. Sometimes that's patches or pins or coins or collectibles or even toys, McDonald's toys, all that kind of stuff. It's all good stuff to have in a geocache. Kids love finding the swag and trading for it. And grown-ups, well, they love to sign that logbook. So try and keep it in good shape by protecting it from the elements. Having a pen that's protected in the geocache from the elements is also a great idea because sometimes geocachers forget a pen. So it's always great if there's one in there that works that people can use to sign the log sheet. Often people will actually prefer to keep a pencil in the geocache and sometimes a pencil sharpener because it's just a lot easier to store. It doesn't freeze and thaw and break and all that kind of stuff. So while a pen's a great idea, pencil's probably the best. So adventurers, up to now we have been showing you the steel ammo can type container, which while it is absolutely one of our favorites, it is not the most common. In fact, what you're going to find is the most common container is going to be the micro or the small, which is most often a bison tube, a small hanging metal tube, or a plastic lock and lock container. Now the reason it's important to point that out is because these smaller containers, the micros and the smalls, they don't always have room for the swag. And sometimes not even the pencil. So what you're going to find is a log sheet. You're not going to find a book. You're going to find a small roll of paper that you'll add your name to. I just wanted to make sure we pointed that out because, as I said, the most common cache types and sizes you're going to find are the micros and the smalls. If you want more information about the different cache sizes, I would recommend checking out this video on our channel. It's a really good description about cache sizes and what to expect. Another reason that I'm pointing out these smaller cache sizes is because of the importance as a geocacher of making sure that you not only are carrying a pen, but that you're also carrying tweezers. Let me show you why. This away. So while this bison tube is going to be relatively easy for us to get out of the container, right there, get our name on that one. You can see there's not a lot of room in there for anything else, so always bring a pen. And while we're at it, pro tip, when you're putting the log sheet back into a bison tube, always put it into the end with the threads first. That way, the end that doesn't have the threads that goes over top, it'll be a much easier fit for you. You can thank me later. These magnetic nano containers, however, they are a whole different story. Again, so small, all you're going to have in here is a log sheet, but now the log sheet itself, oh my goodness, look at that, tucked right into the little lid. That's when you're going to want tweezers. Easily extract that tiny little log sheet so you can sign it, put it back, and replace everything just the way you found it. So adventurers, that covers off what should be in a geocache and what you will most often find in a geocache. But now let's talk about what should never be in a geocache. The first thing on our list of things to never put in a geocache is food. It might seem like it's a fun idea and kid-friendly, but think about it for a minute. Would you let your kid eat something they found in a random container in the woods? And even packaged foods like candy or anything else is still a bad idea, so avoid putting any kind of food in a geocache. So the easiest rule is just no food. Animals can detect the smell, they'll come and they'll tear the geocaches apart, or worse yet, they'll choke or get sick on trying to get into the geocache. Besides food, another thing that you should really never ever put in a geocache are matches, lighters, ammunition of any sort, anything that would be dangerous for a kid to find and play with. That's kind of the general rule you want to follow when it comes to putting things in. So adventurers, let's recap what we've talked about. What you should find in a geocache is a log sheet and a pen or pencil, and hopefully a pencil sharpener, and some fun swag for the finders to trade fairly for. But most often, what you will find is a log sheet and, depending on the size of the cache, maybe some swag. But again, the smaller the geocache, the less likely there will be anything in it but a log sheet. And lastly, what should never be in a geocache is anything that's not kid-friendly or family-friendly, because remember, geocaching is a family-friendly worldwide treasure hunt. And now we've got something in this geocache we definitely need to remove because it is most certainly not family-friendly. Get out there and let geocaching be your tour guide. Man, the crazy stuff you find in geocaches. And hey adventurers, tell me in the comments about things you've found in geocaches. We'd love to hear your stories.